YouTube. You already know, Big Flacco from a convict's perspective. You already know what time it is, man. Another one directly from the county jail. Still, though, with a little bit of positive energy, man. Hope everybody's having a positive day out there. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all those things to help support your boy. And hit that bell notification for future fire content. Now, before we get to the title of this, before we get to the topic, right, at hand, let me address a couple things real quick. Number one, man, thank you. Someone put $10 on the tablet. Man, everything helps, man. That helps me make more calls. It helps me communicate with my family. It helps me do these videos. All that stuff, man. So I really do appreciate any type of assistance, man, whether it's someone putting it on the Cash App, whether someone's doing it, putting it on my tablet so I can make phone calls, or someone's helping family, or if anybody, helps towards pack that they have in here, man. Whatever it may be, man, hey, if anybody does anything, I do appreciate it, man. And just that $10, man, hey, I'm really grateful for it. Now, a couple things real quick, though, before we get to this topic. Number one, right, there was a video I took down, I put private a couple weeks ago. It was Real Talk with Flacco, a real one, right? And the reasons why I took this down was not because of the title, not because of, using the term real one, but it had to do with a lot of viewers were misinterpreting the whole video, because some people were saying that I was, I spoke on my case, and I was really clear, talking about that. I'm not going to talk about anything that has to do with my case, but I'm letting you guys know what I've been allegedly charged with. But some people misinterpret that, so rather than people having their own opinion that I'm speaking on my case or not, it was in my best interest to take it down. Now, the other thing I want to address real quick, right, is as far as people's opinion, as far as where I'm going to go, what yard, and this and that, right? Well, definitely, like I said, man, God got my back. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And I'm not going to change that for any man. I'm not going to run with somebody just because, I believe in Jesus Christ, because that's the route I'm going. Okay? I'm not, if people have a problem with that and they decide that they get a little farther, they want to jump, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to change the way I feel and what I believe in just because the next man wants me to. Yeah, I know that there's tons of you guys that are just beating at the drum that just want me to, you know what I'm saying, tuck tail, right? But I've never been one to do that. And God got my back, and I'm not one that's going to serve two masters and be fake. Because a lot of people, right, 80% of people who are probably in prison or jail say that they believe in God, but yet they're going to judge another one because that's the line that they want to push. Hey, if that's the route you want to go, I stand behind what I believe in, my ideologies. And ain't nobody going to tell me different. So don't try to predict what you think's going to happen or where I'm going to go, because wherever they put me is where they're going to put me if I end up doing prison time. Now, let's get to this topic at hand, right? It's about Southsiders, Sureños, in Arizona. Now, this is a really interesting topic, and I've started to learn a little bit more about this because there's a lot of misinterpretations. There's a lot of things that people misconstrue because there's a lot of hoods out here in AZ, right? They associate themselves with the blessed, right? And that doesn't mean that they're a Sureño. That doesn't mean that they're a Southsider. Okay, there is Southsiders in Arizona that are from California, that are straight Sureños, that fall under the SUE flag, the Southern United Raza flag. And when they go to prison, a lot of them end up running what they call the Cali card. The Cali card is just basically the Sureños, okay? They're not on any of the rosters or roll calls with the AZ Chicanos or anything. Now, they respect each other. If there's issue with other races, they usually back each other's play, but they're their own independent card, basically. They're on their own as far as in the system and how they decide to function, as long as they don't get in the way of, basically, this is AZ's backyard here in Arizona. As long as they don't get in the way pushing their California line, there's no issues. And that's just how it is. And you'll see certain hoods out here that will have a threat to them. There's individuals I've met in here that have threats on them. And that has nothing to do with them being a Sureño. It is their allegiance and it is their loyalty to, the AZ. And what people fail to realize is that, the AZ MA, or the new MA that they call it out here back in the days, right, is totally different than the California one. Two different entities, basically. Now, in the feds, of course, they kind of coexist with each other, but they're two different groups. And it's kind of interesting because even though there's a lot of dudes that have dresses on, they're not what blessed is, or there's certain patches and tattoos and stuff and whatnot, right? they're not oppositions. They're not enemies to the Northerners. It's interesting. A lot of times, a lot of these cats don't like cats from California as it is, and a lot of times that's because of, you know, there is a strong presence of individuals from California that are Southsiders. Very few Northerners, but I'm gonna get with you guys on a video about that in the next day or two. Okay, so you'll find individuals that say that there's Sureños out here. Very few hoods, though, are basically Sureños. On the streets, they're Sureños, but when they get to prison, if they're from Arizona, they don't bang the Sioux flag. They fall under the basically easy Chicano. So it's kind of interesting. So you'll see individuals, like I said, that have the Tlese, and it's their allegiance to the inmate, but it has nothing to do with any Southsiders or being Sureños or whatnot. Now, there's every once in a while you'll come across a hood that, you know, maybe they're influenced from you know, Southern California, or maybe they became Sureños. Like there's one in Tucson called 13th Avenue. You know what I'm saying? They themselves call themselves Sureños on the street, but when they get to prison, they're not rocking basically the suit as far as the California suit or the California car. They're rocking AZ Chicano. So, like I said, it's kind of interesting. You're going to come across individuals that are actually Southsiders, right? But they're not from Arizona. They're from California. Everybody that's actually traditionally from AZ, whether they're from a body that even baked Sud or whatnot, or call themselves, you know, Sureños or Southsiders, whatever they do, they're still not Sureños in the system. They have no type of allegiance or loyalty to the California enemy, which I find kind of interesting. You know, and as I'll go in the future still, you know, the Northerners are kind of welcome to actually program. You know, there's been some issues, like I said before, in the feds with some conflict, right? But apparently I heard that issue got worked out, but for the most part, because the Northerners' numbers, they're able to actually coexist just based upon the fact of the AZ getting the basic skin out. Like they have their own rules, their own red gloves and whatnot, and I'm not going to sit there and, you know, go into too much as far as how they function and operate, because look, I'm doing my time here. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I said, it's interesting though, because many people days living in their hoods are basically will have Tlesses on them, and basically if their hood has a Tlesse attached to them, that basically means that they're mandatory student when they hit the system, which means they already have obligations. They're already tied in. They're basically tapped in somewhere. You know, and it's, like I said, there's a lot of similarities to the North, right? You know, and at first it kind of threw me off because I'm seeing dudes with Tlesses on them. I'm like, damn, like, you know, are you a Sureño? And I'm assuming that they're Sureños, but a lot of times they're not. And some of these individuals that have Tlesses on them, they could be a Crip or Blood on the street, believe it or not. You know, I've seen Crips with maybe the local, like 3 dots on him, and, you know, I've seen one dude, he's bloody, he has Sud on him, right? Sud on Risa, right? So I guess Southern Arizona, but he's not a Sureño. He's actually a Blood. It's just, like I said, it's a whole different type of, you know, atmosphere, like just how everything kind of developed. And yeah, there's some traditional hoods, whether you go to Phoenix or even Tucson, that are more Cholo-based, right? But even them, like I said, when they go, if they have Tlesse, it has nothing to do with food. And it took me about maybe a year or two to basically figure that out. Like at first, I thought that everybody had a Tlesse that basically they were basically Sureños, or they were undercover Sureños. And you know, like I said, I've learned from doing time and, you know, meeting people on the streets that there is a difference between what they represent when they represent the Tlesse as opposed to California and Arizona. There is no alliance with the AZ Chicanos as far as them representing Sioux. They represent AZ, and that's something that's been made clear to me by several individuals. You know, oh no, we're not Sureños. We have the Tlesse on us, but we just flow to the inmate. We have nothing to do with the Sioux. So, you know, some people may feel that, oh, you know, they're copying California and whatnot. I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you know, that Tlesse is just basically an acknowledgement to who their big homies are. There's no separate entities over here. The only separate entity that you have is basically the California car. See, like I said, the California car is Sureños. They are Southsiders, right? And there have been conflicts in the past. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, what do you think? So that's pretty much how it works, right? Yeah. Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, yeah. So you will encounter some people, like I said, man, that they have sued on or they say that they're Sureños, right? But when they get to prison, they fall in line basically as the age that you got on that. And I guess in my next video, I'm going to go into a little bit about the modelos in Arizona, which is going to trip you guys out, especially the ties that Yuma has with some of the individuals in the Bay Area. With that said, your boy Flaco, from a Perspective, I'm out.